If the Utah Jazz had any hope of contending in the West playoffs in 2020, it may be gone. With the season-ending wrist surgery for Bojan Bogdanovic, the Jazz are losing a 20-point-per-game scorer, a 50-40-90 shooter, and a post-up mismatch against most guards. More important than his stats is his gravity. As you can see, he literally looks like he is magnetically pulling his defender towards himself as he drives to the basket. This is no accident. He is the most lethal shooter on the floor, and the defense wants to stop that. Bogdanovic is able to use his shooting threat to punish defenders that go over ball screens or pin downs for him. When they go over the screen, he's extremely savvy at keeping them on his back, which effectively eliminates them from the play. What's important here is it creates a 2-on-1 situation. Are you going to stop a lob to Rudy Gobert? Or are you going to protect the rim in case Bogdanovic goes for one of these layups? Bogdanovic has displayed at volume the ability to get the ball in the basket with very little space. But the most important part of Bojan Bogdanovic's game is his chemistry with Donovan Mitchell in the pick and pop. The Utah Jazz are largely known for the pairing of Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, but the Donovan Mitchell-Bojan Bogdanovic pick and pop was the Jazz choice play in the clutch throughout the season, and it makes sense why. The Jazz want to take advantage of Donovan Mitchell's driving ability, and they want to take advantage of Bojan Bogdanovic's shooting ability. This automatically lends to the pick and pop, but what about Gobert? He is still effectively a lob threat from the dunker position, and more importantly, is more effectively utilized in clutch situations as an offensive rebounding nightmare. The most important part of the Donovan Mitchell-Bojan Bogdanovic pick and pop is what happens when defenses switch the action. Switching defenses have given the Jazz problems for years, but if defenses switch this action, the Jazz can and absolutely will post up Bojan Bogdanovic on a smaller defender. The Quinn Snyder-led Jazz have almost never favored post-up play other than with Joe Johnson, but they post up Bojan Bogdanovic constantly in order to punish smaller defenders and switching defenses. Bogdanovic showed his prowess in the post throughout the year, whether it was facing his man up and draining a shot in his face, bullying him into a layup, bullying him into a foul, or just passing to the right man when the defense sent help. So when you think about all the threats that come with the Mitchell-Bogdanovic pick and pop, it makes sense why it was one of the most lethal plays in the NBA in clutch situations. I mean, look at how much the Bulls are trying to deny him the ball when he posts up Kobe White. They're so keyed in on him, but he's still able to score. And when the defense becomes overly concerned with Bojan's perimeter threat, stuff like this happens. So it's clear that the Jazz will be missing a very talented and dynamic player, despite his reputation for only being a shooter. Does this mean the Jazz are screwed? To answer that question, I will say that the Jazz have had plenty of games where Bogdanovic actually didn't play in crunch time, electing to play Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal, or Mike Conley instead for what they bring to the table. Whether it's Mike Conley's ability to penetrate, Joe Ingles' pick-and-roll chemistry with Rudy Gobert, or Royce O'Neal's defense, the Jazz will have quality players to fill in the gaps Bogdanovic leaves with his injury. I think there are certain matchups in the playoffs the Jazz would still be favored, but against the top-tier teams, it's hard to see the Jazz keeping up without a good dose of luck. Only time will tell, so let me know your thoughts in the comments.